gentleman by the name of Scott Morgan. Because they're getting ready to bore underneath 22.
Okay.
And they made us an offer because they want to do it 24/7.
Okay.
It will take, they said, anywhere between 10 and 15 days.
Okay.
So he made us an offer per diem per day.
Okay.
Because of the noise, in case we have to go stay at a hotel.
Sure.
Now, a lot of people don't have the opportunity or the wherewithal to go stay at a hotel.
Okay.
They don't want to pay it until after the fact.
Sure.
It should be paid up front.
Okay. Matt from our land department. It's Matt Dubowski. He's a land manager with our company.
How you doing, man? I'm Matt Dubowski, National Fuel Gas. The reason we didn't want to pay it up front, I guess, is because we didn't know the amount of time that was going to take to do it. Obviously, we didn't want to pay,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, that's what they
less or more.
It's still an inconvenience. And
Okay. I mean, maybe if we could, give a test run and see how noisy it is, if you guys.
it's noisy at daytime.
Okay.
It's like right behind one of our little houses we have there.
Okay.
It's noisy.
Okay.
And I know, is he here? Is Rich here?
I'm here.
Okay, he can feel it shaking in his house. He's just right down our lane.
Okay.
He feels the shaking in his house.
Okay. We can certainly discuss that with you. I know you talked to Scott. I could give you my contact information. We could discuss that afterwards or tomorrow, whatever you feel comfortable with. So. Okay.
Mr. Dabrowski, since you're the scan, I'd like to know why your company is so considered, you're standing here now giving us a speech, we're Western Pennsylvania, so why was not DEP notified? It had to take a resident to call DEP and see if anything happened.
I don't believe that is correct. I think we self-reported that.
I don't think so. So we have the facts.
Wayne Grant can speak to that. He's our environmental coordinator.
My name is Wayne Graham. I'm with National Fuel Gas Environmental Compliance Manager. We did have an inadvertent return for an unnamed tributary St. Patrick's Run. We were notified of that, and I immediately called the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection within 7 minutes of my notification.
Of your notification.
That was as immediate.
And what happened over the weekend? There were 20 trucks there on the road. Why?
We have an emergency permit, which we have filed with the Township so that they have a copy of that as well. The emergency permit allows us to work along the stream there. If we get additional inadvertent returns, we want to keep them out of the stream. So we have sandbag structures that we put along the edge of the stream. And so if we have an inadvertent return that doesn't get into the stream, we had a small inadvertent return, 20 gallons on
Friday morning.
That was the only inadvertent return that we've had since that time, which was also reported to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection.
Since that time? That's two. Within weeks of each other.
And I'll be quite honest with you, we will probably have more. It's very likely that we will. That's why we have the sandbag structure there so it doesn't get into the stream until we complete the drill.
What's going into the streams?
What's going into the stream? What did go into the stream was a mixture of bentonite and water, which is the drilling fluid that they use for the horizontal direction of the drill.
Why do and my other question is, why do your trucks have to go, your water trucks, I noticed that are by the road, why do they have to go up Camel Road and where do they go? They go out the other end. They don't go out 22. They're constantly going up Campbell Road to wherever. Why is it that way?
Do you know which water truck you're talking about? I really don't know.
The white trucks?
The white truck associated?
Is that the
Is
vac truck?
is it the white vac truck that sits down there?
Yes.
It's sitting down there in preparation in case something would happen.
No, they've been driving up and down the road. As a matter of fact, they don't know how, your trucks don't know how to stay on their side of the road. They're constantly right in the middle of the road. It would be nice if they knew there's a right and a left-hand side to that road.
Well, we can certainly talk with that contractor. Who is our contractor.
And they don't go slow.
And we'll certainly address that with them.
First thing in the morning.
We have safety meetings daily with them. So.
All right. Let's, if there's anything further, just hold on to this. Anything with National Fuel, and you guys have questions for them, they'll be here to talk afterwards. They'll keep you guys.
That's right, absolutely.
And could you guys elaborate on bentonite clay? It's a drilling clay that's used for drilling water wells, from what I understand. So it's safe for water wells. It should be safe for. Can you explain what the bentonite clay is real quick?
I wish I knew more about it, but it is a naturally occurring substance, and it is is what is typically used for drilling water wells. It's used for horizontal directional drills, which is what we're doing right now. And, you know, obviously we don't want to get it into a stream, and it did cause a milky to the stream. We were aware of that, we recorded that. We have cleanup efforts, and we're trying to prevent that from happening again.
Okay. So if anybody has any questions for National Fuel, they'll be here afterwards. Next order, anybody else for public comment? Yeah.
Four people from National Fuel is here. This is not on the agenda. This is a big deal in the township that there is a contamination to a creek and possible wells. I sit here and I listen to you say that you responded to emails and forwarded them, and you didn't tell anybody in the township that there was a spill, that there was a leak. No, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. The point is, you give a report, which I appreciate, but we have the fire department on file, the police department on file, zoning enforcement on file. We listen to all of these things which are on file, and that's great, the public can go and look at that. And then we listen to your report, which I appreciate, I appreciate. Although I don't need to hear that you've responded to emails and forwarded them on to supervisors, I assume you're doing that. But yet nobody in this township, the supervisor, no one tells the public that there was a blowout and the DEP was informed. There's no kind of report in the supervisor's report, nothing in your report. I mean, nothing at all until somebody, a resident makes a comment, and then in March, 4 people from National Fuel Line to address an issue which should have happened at the beginning of this meeting. Why? What is your response to that? That's inexcusable. It's not an oops, it's completely inexcusable. If you're on well water, it's a concern. Now I'll go back to the things that I was going to talk about. I'm absolutely disgusted that you don't find it a priority. Just because you don't have well water, you don't even live in the township, is no excuse. Schaefer Road. Max Environment abuts Schaefer Road. Is there not a way that we can ask Max Environment perhaps to chip in to help us repair? I think their property is also along Schaefer Road in the back.
You're asking if we could contact
Yeah.
them to help repair Schaefer Road?
Yeah, I don't know how many trucks they ever go down there, but it might be worth, you know, approaching them to see if we can't get any help with the township repairing it. As far as Mark West, we sat here and watched Mrs. Valentino bring up a Mylar for their subdivision. Was a Mylar ever part of the exhibits submitted from Mark West? There was a subdivision, correct?
Yeah, well, Mylar is simply the official rendering of the subdivision that we filed, if it's approved.
Okay, so is the process then that it has to be approved first and then you get a Mylar?
That's right. The Mylar gets signed after, when things are approved, the Mylar is signed and then recorded.
Is that done at a public meeting?
No, the Mylar is not signed at a public meeting. The Mylar will be signed, well, I mean, it could be, if it was here, it could be. It's not required that the Mylar itself be signed at a public meeting.
Because I don't remember one for the first subdivision.
I don't recall if the first thing was a subdivision, was it? It might have just been a land development application, I'm not sure.
I believe it was a subdivision that they wanted as a minor, even though it was formal parcels.
I don't recall. If it was a subdivision and it was recorded, then it was written. But I'm not sure.
They claim it was recorded, and this is the problem. This is a part of a bigger project. So if you have that subdivision,
It was not a subdivision.
I didn't
They
think so.
purchased multiple parcels.
Yeah, I didn't, it was all on one
It fell under
parcel.
saldo because of the multiple.
Yeah, it was all on one parcel. I don't think that the first
well, it's mentioned
application
in the
was a
minutes though as
subdivision.
a subdivision, and that it was approved. It was approved by the supervisors as a subdivision.
I think it was under the subdivision and land development ordinance.
Okay, I'll find those minutes, but I'm
That's
pretty
fine.
sure that's how it's written. So that doesn't need a Mylar.
I don't, my recollection of that was that was not, they were not subdividing their properties for that particular, I think it was all on one parcel, if I recall correctly.
So that's one parcel that then adds to this subdivision, which the township engineer had to approve as part of a subdivision.
Catherine, you have a lot of questions, maybe you should put them in writing. go through them, if you want to do it that way.
That's fine, I wanted clarification.
Well, the hearing is over.
Right, I understand that, but it came to my attention because, again, somebody comes up with an item, and I don't ever recall that occurring with
Well,
something
did-
as large. I mean, this is Mrs. Valentino's property, but this is, mine was, it's a huge property.
Well, that's fine. I mean, there could be, you could have 1,000 lot subdivision, and they don't have to bring the Mylar to this meeting and have people sign it. It's either approved or it's not approved. And once it's approved, signing off on a Mylar is a ministerial matter that takes place whenever it takes place.
And then it gets recorded,
And then it gets recorded.
so that hasn't happened yet.
That's correct.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Anybody else? You spoke once already, John, very briefly.
I just have one thing I want to clarify.
I don't want to get back and forth.
I understand.
Just direct everything to the board.
Robinson Township, Robinson, the road that you targeted going up to Robinson Church,
Yes.
it's a township road.
Yes.
Okay, it services many people in Robinson Township, West Virginia, Cannonsburg, everywhere that go to that church. It's not a private driveway.
Okay. Any other public comments? All right. I'll make a motion to close the meeting. Adjourn. All right. Meeting adjourned.